You're welcome back to this particular video. In this video, we'll be designing the product page. So this particular page is the page that people will click to view the product. So let's go to our UX and see the page. So now, if you follow our user flow here, we've been able to design category search. We've not done cart yet, but other category or other search, they should be able to click on the product and view the product page. So this particular page here, so that's what we want to design now. So if somebody either click on any of the product on this search page here, which is the same as our shop page, or they click on the products from this category page, where will it take them to? So it will take them to this particular product page. Now, that's the first thing. We'll bring in our navbar as usual. Remember, we'll always make use of our navbar, and we'll also make use of our footer. So let's bring it from our assets. Footer. Is footer not in our assets? Let's check. So this should be in our asset, of course. So this feels weird. It seems as if we've not made our footer a component. So let me go and check if we've not made our footer a component, so that we'll make it a component. So unfortunately, we've been using this multiple footer and we've not made it a component, which is not good. Right, I'm just observing it right now when I try to pull it from this asset. So let's make it a component. So this, let me copy this. I'll go to my component under navigation. It should actually be here. We should have a footer here. Actually, the same way we have this particular stuff here, so we should have a footer here. And this should Ctrl Z. This should actually be a component, right? So the same way too. If we go back to our design, let's copy this mobile footer to Ctrl C and go to our component too as well and paste it here. This should also be a component too. So I'll make it a component here. So we should call this one mobile footer. All right, cool. Why is it just footer? That's fine. So we need to make this stuff a component so that it will be easy for us to edit it. So we'll go back to our wireframe. I think we should be able to bring the footer now from assets. Let's search for it again. So it's down there. All right. So let's put it here. So just leave it here for now. The first thing that we'll actually want to design will be our breadcrumbs, right? So we should have some form of a breadcrumb there. So I know that we already have this particular breadcrumbs. So this one here. So I'm just going to Ctrl C to copy, so that I can come over here and I can paste it, Ctrl V to paste it. So so that's it. I actually want to edit this particular breadcrumb. I'll right click, I'll click on go to main component. I think that the font size that we use is too big. We used a 22 font size for the breadcrumb. Let's make it a 14. Very small. It should not be on the big side, right? So we'll type paragraph. So our paragraph text, which is, we should use medium, right? This particular one. So the same thing to paragraph text, medium. This one too works. Paragraph text, medium. Let's type it, medium. All right, this one. So we've edited this particular breadcrumb. So if we go back to our wireframe, so we should see that it's already edited here. So right here, what we should have here right now should be like a 3 breadcrumbs. So let's go back to our component. So if we have this, so we should be able to have another one. So in this other one, we should have something like this. And so I just basically duplicated that. Ctrl D too as well. Then I will move this other one here. So can I have home? So this can be our second. So this can be like shop, and this can be like the page itself that we are in. So if we want to give this, we'll just call this one states, and let's call this one 3 nav, right? So 3 nav simply means that the history is up to like 3. Why this one is basically 2. So let's just call this one 2 nav. All right, 2 navigation. Perfect. So this is the one that we need. So we'll go back to wireframe. Then in this case now, we want 3, right? So we'll just change this to 3. So can I have shop and page? So So in this case now, we want this to be actually, this is going to be a very long one though. So just stretch it. Stretch it to touch this edge. All right, perfect. Something like that works. Then shop, let's leave shop. Then we can change this particular one to our product title to whatever product that we want to give it, right? So we can give it. So for now, I'll just say product title. So I'll say product title. So we'll leave it at product title for now, right? That works. That's going to be our product title. Then we already have this. So permit me to just bring this here. I'll bring it outside. I'll just drop it somewhere here. So we know that all of this stuff now can be meshed together. So if we mesh them together like this, add auto layout to it. As usual, the spacing should be 56. Ensure that it feels white. So that's our page basically. So that's the page we're designing. So I'll just name this one product. Right? So I'll name it product. Then this other one is already product here. We'll just call it hero. So we'll use this one to design our hero. So let's add our layout grid here. So if we add our layout grid here, I will divide it into two. So this side will be for the text, while this side will be for the slideshow. So we're going to have a very simple slideshow, right? Something square-ish. So I'm going to do something like this, and I'll just draw. Okay, this is too big. I don't want it to be really big. Probably like 100 by 100 will serve. So 100 by 100 will serve, right? So let's keep playing with this thing. So 100 by 100 will serve actually. That's like a square. So this is going to be like the thumbnail of the pictures. So let's duplicate it like 4 times. So I'm going to bring it here, hold both of them together, add auto layout. So the frame 19, we're going to name it, this is going to be like our thumbnails, right? For our slide. So we'll say thumbnails. All right, perfect. So the spacing should be like 24. 24 is great. Then we could have 3, 4. So 4 thumbnails, something like this works. Then we could have another grid. So this would be like the actual image, right? So this should stop at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so this level, right? So we could say let our height, let's say 550, for example. 550 height. All right, that's cool. So that depends. So let's try and make sure that the spacing between this is 24. So I'll move it 1, 2, this is 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 4. So this is 24 right now. So 24. So we want to ensure that this stuff is touching this stuff. So you should give me 597 by 550. That's cool. And I will just select them together and I will add auto layout. So the spacing is 25, as you guys can see it. Instead of frame, let's name it to let us call it product slide. All right, that'll be fine. So since we have that there, we have our product slide going on. So the next thing that we want to do in this particular stuff right now, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, that's too long. I was looking at it that it's longer than usual, so let me reduce it. So let's count it. So we don't want this to be more than 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly. So we don't want the product slide to be more than 6. So this is about 488 by 550. Cool. So right here now we could have like the title and the description of this particular product. So I'll come over here. I'll just say product title comes in here. When we get to mock up, we'll look for a better definition of all this stuff. But right now, I don't think I have anyone. Product title comes in here. All right, let us assume that this is our product title, right? So we'll look for something like a heading 3. So let's look for heading 3. So heading 3 is like 28. So and medium will be perfect. video will be perfect. Right. Heading 3, heading 3 will work, heading 2 will also work. So let's see heading 2. So heading 2, so this is heading 2. So let's see heading 2. Let's give it medium 2 will also work perfect. Alright, that's cool. So these are our product title comes in here. Nice. So the next thing we want to do now is to give the rating that this particular product has, right? So I'll search for star under my assets. So we should have it under our icon. So just bring it here. And I will try to open it and go and select the vector. So I can give it a fill. And this fill could be the neutral 900. Let's see. And that's cool. Then the stroke, we don't necessarily want a stroke, right? Or we could still leave a stroke if we want to. I think I love it with the stroke. With the stroke, there is this beautiful gives it. So let us give the stroke to neutral 900. All right, cool. So I love it like this. So this is 24. So we'll just duplicate it. So oops, just duplicate it like this. Select them together and add auto layout. And the spacing between it should be like 4. So let's add 4 there. That will be it. Right? So let's make sure that we have like up to 5. 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. One more thing I want to do, I want to add something like this and set this be 4.5. All right, let's say 4.8. So let's assume it's 4.8. So sometimes if you have like half star, sometimes you could also have half star. So just to make this stuff look cool, let me see. We'll leave that for this other thing later. So let's adjust this. So let's search for a paragraph. Let's use this other one. We'll use regular here, 16. All right, cool. Then we could add this into this text into what we are doing here. And once we have this together now, let's ensure that the alignment is right. So we're aligning it at the center here. So always look at your alignment to ensure that everything is really, really good. So we have about this particular style here. So this is cool. So another thing again, I want to have is badge. So have we created anything for badge? No, we've not created. So let's create a new component called badge. So I'm just going to type this. I'm going to see in stock. So let me just type that one here in stock. So this is paragraph 16. No, I want it to be paragraph medium but 14. Perfect, in stock. Then I would draw a frame around it like this. Then if I go to layer, that my frame now will be a name here. So let me just call this particular in stock. I'm going to call it badge. I'm going to even make this stuff. I'm going to make it a component because this other one, and let's rename it. Let's call it review. Right, reviews. All right, that's cool. So this one that is badge right now. Let's give it a fill. But let the fill be like neutral gray. So this is like our default badge. I'm just going to give it a border radius of 4, very small one. Then add auto layout to it, and so we could give, if you give this like 4 here, we could double it here and say let here be 8. So a very small badge like this. But I'm going to Ctrl X, cut it so that I'll make it a component because we might end up using a lot of badges. So I think badge should be somewhere around buttons anyways, but let's just drop our badge somewhere around here. So badge sometimes could have its own section, but let's just drop it under cards. So that's our badge here. So we might need it. So we'll make it a component. So later we could have like other like different colors of badge. For example, okay, let me add one color so you will see how it will be used in the future. So for example, now this other badge, this is a property here, we could say color. Right, so this one now could be, let's say success, for example. Success, all right, cool. So this one now, we would say, let this one be success, this color, while the text itself will be success, green, something like this. So that's what we use. So by this other one now will be, just leave this one to be default, right? So that is how you basically create all this simple badge. So but now we're using the default. So I'll go back to my design. I'll bring in my badge. So we should have a badge now. So that's it's none there. So I'll bring in my badge here. So my badge in stock and this other one to show that this particular product is in stock. Then I will add auto layout to it. So if I add auto layout to it now, I'll ensure that this is auto, right? I'll type auto there. So now I can easily drag it as much as I like. So if I go to asset, I'll try to rename it. So I'll just name it review plus badge. All right, cool. That's nice. Then I'll select it with this other one now. And I will add auto layout to it. And I will select it be like 12. So 12 is great. So this one now will just say product what now? Product title. All right, cool. That works fine. Then this other one will ensure that the text is filled. And this other one, instead of fixed, is also filled. So the reason why we're doing it like this is going to be responsive, right? So you guys can see it's responsive. So no matter the size of the text, this stuff does basically adjust to, which is cool. So I can drag this here too as well. So we have this particular product here. So the next I want to have now is like the price, right? The cost of this particular product. So I'm going to drop something here. I'm going to type $242, for example. I'll give it a very large one, probably heading 1. It's a very large text like this to show. So I'll duplicate this and I'll look for a higher one, a higher figure. So this is going to be like our discount stuff. So let's give it heading 2 regular, okay, small. I would associate it like this so that I'll be able to strike it through. Then we could give it a color, neutral, let's say 300, right? 300 is cool. So we can select both of them together, add auto layout, ensure that the alignment is at the center like this. The spacing between them could not be much. You could say print 12 is good. Then this will be our what? Our price, right? So that was our price. So the next thing I will also want to do is to create some little ISPOM here, right? So let's look for this plugin. Let us use lorem for now. So most people will say, which I also agree, that you should not use lorem ISPOM, right? In fact, okay, I have some text here. Let me copy it. Let me not use lorem ISPOM. So let me just copy some text. But you can use this demo text anyways. But I have the text in my system, so I'll just copy it and I'll paste it here. So that's it. So this one now, it should be paragraph. Don't forget the 14 one regular. So it should be regular. Then this stuff should also, it should not be fixed. So it should be somewhere auto height like this. So it's going to be responsive, right? No matter how it's being dragged. So that's the description text. So you could use a demo text here. So I just copied that, made your favorite handmade high-rise pants in mind, blah, blah. I really don't know. I just copied this stuff from somewhere. All right, that's cool. Just because I don't want to use them. So right now we could have all of this together, select them together, and we can actually like add the two layers together. And this will be our product details, right? So we say product details. Perfect. Then the spacing, we'll give it a very large spacing. Let's say a 32 spacing, right? So, but 7 here, let's say 32. 32 works fine. This is quite obvious right now. So the next thing we want to do, I also want to add other stuff. So I want to add color, variance, quantity as well. So let's do that. So the first thing I want to do right now is to add, is to create my colors. Right, so let's create a color. So I'm going to use a frame instead, and this frame, I'm going to ensure that the frame is 40 by 40. I'm going to give it a stroke. The color of my stroke is going to be very light neutral, probably something like this. It's really, really light, hard to see. So I'm going to draw this in it. So something of this nature. So this one should give me like Since we gave it 40 by 40, let's give this one like 32 and see 32 by 32. Ensure it's at the middle, center. All right, this looks cool. So the spacing here is just 4, 4, 4. So this looks cool actually. So this is going to be like our color, right? So I'm going to have it like this. So this is like our color. So let me just call this one color, right? Color selector. So in fact, we should actually make this a component. So the reason why we should make this a component so that we'll be able to see both active and inactive, right? So let's make it a component. I'm going to make it a component, add another one. So this one is going to be the active one. So for the active one, this should actually be like my neutral black. Later we'll correct it. Then this one now should be like let me just select a very thick neutral, something like this. So this makes sense. So this is going to be okay, let's say active, right? And this is false. This is not active. So this active simply means selected, or we just say selected, right? Instead of saying active, let's say selected, right? Then this other one, selected true. This makes sense. Selected true. All right, cool. So now what we could do now is we'll take this to our components page. So what did we name it? Color selector, right? We'll exit and go to our components page, and we'll paste it under forms. I think it should be under forms. Actually, I'll paste it here, and I will just say color selector, right? So we can just paste it here. So we could have like a more complex one, but let's just leave this one here for now. And we are going to call this one color selector. All right, cool. So let's go back to our wireframe and look for assets. Let's look for our color selector. We'll bring our color selector here now. So we can now have like multiple of this. Select this together, add photo layer to it, and assume that the spacing between them is like 8, very close, right? So I can just call this one my colors. Let's see, colors. All right, plural, that's cool. We could have like up to 5, 3, 4, 5. Let this first one be the selected one. So I'll just move it here. So something like this, right? I think 5 is too much, but let's just leave it anyways. So we're going to have the second one down. We're going to type the heading. So we're going to type color. I don't know. This stuff shouldn't be capital letter, but it's giving me capital letter by force. All right. Let's look for a heading text. Probably H4. The H4 will do well. The H4 medium is perfect, right? H4 medium is actually perfect. Right, so right, that's cool. So come over here now. So we'll select this and this together. We'll add photo layer to it. And 12 is good. So let's call this one our color variant. All right. All right, this makes sense. So that's our color variant here. So it's going to be somewhere around here. So the next thing I want to do now, I also want to do quantity, right? So permit me to just copy this and put it here. And let me call this other one QTY. Okay, no, QTY, quantity. Like this. So I believe we have a quantity stuff here too. Let's go and search for it, quantity. So this is it here. All right, this is cool. I would have actually loved to adjust this particular variant a little bit. So I'll say go to main components. So this is it. This is where we did it before. But permit me to adjust it a bit. I want to change it to be square so that it will fit what we are designing. So this is it here. So we have 10 here. I'll just make it 0. Right? And let's see if we make it 40. Oops, this is big. So I'm trying to adjust our previous design. So permit me, guys. So I'll make this one 0, 2 as well. And I'll make it 40. So this is really, really big now. So let's go back to our design and see. So let's say if it's beautiful that our design is not beautiful, change it. I just give it auto layout. So I'm going to name it quantity, right? Quantity. All right, quantity. Makes sense. So once I have this like this, so I could just stretch this. Doesn't really matter. Stretch this too as well. So I could have this and this together, and I would give it auto layout. Ensure that they are well aligned at the center. Always taking a look at your alignment. Center alignment is really good. So color plus QTY. Then I could take this inside this. All right, let me bring it down. So it's inside here. So the cool thing now is that we could make this hero an entire auto layout. So since we have only the navigation here and this one here. Okay, one more thing I would love to add here actually. I would love to add let me design it quick. Search for maximize. So this icon here, let's bring this icon here. I would love to add a frame around it, something like this. So let the frame be like 50-50, no, not 40, 50-50. I'll constrain it here, add it fill. It could be white. I want it to be round, so I'll give it border use of 25. Then this inside it now should be at the center. So let's drag this now. So I would make it absolute here so that we could actually adjust it well. So this is it here. So hold your shift while you tab so you can move by 10. So we could say 1, 2, 3, that's 30. 1, 2, 3, that's 30. All right, something like this works. So that's what I want to do. All right, so now let's go back and make our entire stuff like this auto layout, right? So I'll add auto layout. It's at the center here, top and bottom. I'm going to give it 0. All right. Okay, then this height here should be whole. Perfect. See, it should be whole. I was wondering why it didn't come up. So it should look like something like this. So we'll drag our hero now and come and paste it inside here. So it should be beneath this one. So let's play this particular page and see. So playing this particular page, this is what we get. So we could see that it's already giving us real stuff. And I think this side that will give this stuff is cool. So let's adjust the other keys too as well. I call them keys. All right, let's go. So we'll just select our quantity here and say quantity counter, right click, go to main component. So let's adjust all of these ones too as well, so they will have the same thing too. So this is 0 and this is 40. That makes sense. Let's let the third one too. Do the same thing there. 0, 40. All right, that makes sense. This is the fourth one. Let's bring it down. Select this top and stretch it a little bit. All right, so let's do the same to you as well. 0, 40. So that's the beauty of this thing is that sometimes you might design something and when you want to use it, you realize that you need to make some little changes, right? Then you can come around and actually make those changes. As you can see, we've changed this from circular counter to actually a square counter, so which is still good, right? Let's go back to our wireframe. So we've done that. So the next thing that we actually want to design, let me hide this thing small. So the next thing that we want to design, I will not design. So we need to add our buttons, right? So we'll come over here, we'll type buttons. So we'll bring our button in here. Oops, not inside here, in here actually. Bring it down. So we want this kind of button. We want it to be fill container actually. And want this to be add to cart. They should be able to add it to cart. Add to cart, right? Then for now, let's give it our color. I want this to be neutral, and I also want this to be outline. Perfect. So neutral is giving me this stuff. Let me adjust it. All right, perfect. So I'll duplicate. Oops, Control Z. What did I do? I want to Control D now. So I'll Control D to have another button. So this second button now, I want it to be not outlined. I want it to be solid and not add to cart. So this will be buy now, right? Buy now. All right, cool. So those two buttons, but I'll select the two buttons together because I want to add auto layout that will be side by side. So I'm going to add auto layout to it and change it from vertical to horizontal. So it should look something like this. Then we could give it this center alignment, but auto. So this is going to be auto. So I think this is good. Then let's see what we have. No, okay. They should have a space. So let's give it a space. So we don't need to give it auto. Let's give it a space at 32. So this makes sense, right? So let's give it a space. So I don't want it to have for it not to have a space. So because of that, auto will not work. Let's give it 32. But nonetheless, this one is already filled. So this is filled. So everything works fine. And let's see the entire container should also be filled. Cool. Perfect. So we have that. So another thing again that we also want to have is the brand and the brand of this particular dress, and also the stock units, right? Stock units. So sometimes you see mostly in e-commerce platforms, we used to call it like SKU number. So let's do those ones too as well. So I'm going to have a simple text here. Let me type it here. So my text is just sitting outside. So I'll type this one. I'll say brand. So this brand is called Chanel. I don't know. I'm just typing Chanel there. All right. Let me ensure that my color here, this particular text is the paragraph text, the 14 one, and it should be regular. And the color here should be neutral 500, of course. Then this one here, I want it to be light version. So I'll give it like probably neutral 200. Cool. Something like this works for me. So I should have. Oh, this is where it came. So let me even bring it outside. So I have this. So I also want to have another one. So I'll duplicate this and I will give this a name. So this one should be our SKU. So these are our stock units, right? So I'll just type any 6 digits, 6548, anything like this works. Then I'll select this together and this together, and I'll add auto layout to it. So auto layout, then horizontal, something like this. It should be at the middle, double click, so it's going to be auto here. Then I'm going to add a space. I want a space, probably like 20. That's it there. Then I also want to add a stroke, and I want the stroke to just only be at the top, so I'll put it here. Then right here, I also want to add a neutral, probably this 100 neutral. So that will just put it here for me. So with this now, I have like, so let's rename this one. Let's call this one brand plus SKU, right? Okay. I love to use plus SKU. Cool. So this is what we need. We'll just come and put it somewhere around here. So I will shift it under using control and this. So this should be under, and this should actually be filled. Perfect. So it should be filled, so it will stretch all the way through. So you see what we have. So everything still looks good. So let's see what we have now. So everything looks good now. So we have our SKU number here. This brand, they could always click here. We have our add to cart. We have our buy now. We have our color. They could select color of this particular dress. It has several colors. Quantity, blah, blah, blah. Any other variant would actually suffice here as well. So I think this is really beautiful. And it goes for our product detail page. So another thing again, I want us to add to this particular detail page is the description of this particular product. Some platform will call it details, some platform will call it description and reviews. So let's quickly do that. Right? So let's add description and reviews. So I will do that. So for that one, we want to create something that looks like this. So this is going to be more or less like a tab, like, yeah, a tab component. So we're going to have something like this. Let me give it like neutral 900. No, I want to give it 900. The dark one, 900. All right, cool. So I'll type a text in between it, and this would be like our description, right? So let's say description. All right, let's take a look at. So I want this paragraph here to be the 16 paragraph, and it should be medium, right? 16 medium. All right. So the cool thing about this now is that we could actually give it auto layout, right? We could choose to give it auto layout. So we could say auto layout. Right, so let's give it simple auto layout there, and let's ensure that the spacing top and bottom 24. I want it to be a little bit large. This does not really matter because we could actually go with a fixed width. I think I'd love to go with a fixed width instead of a certain width. So let me see. Let's try 200. So this makes sense. So this is a fixed width. I think 200 is not even cool. Let's try 250. So this makes sense now. So fixed width is it's cool, right? But if you don't want to go with a fixed width, you could actually type something here. Let's type 50 here. So I think so this will not be fixed width anymore. So this could actually fly too. So all right, let's proceed. So let's call this one tab. Let us call it tab selector, right? Tab head, something like that. That should work. So I want to have this tab head too, because this other one is going to be another version of the tab head that is not selected. So in some cases, you could actually want to make this a variant. In fact, let's make it a variant, a complement and a variant, so that we could actually easily just edit it and use it anytime that we also want to like make use of these things. So, but we're not going to use it like 2 times, but let's just do it. Variants, components, add a variant. So this one now is going to be, let's say active or selected. I think selected makes more sense. Selected, we'll say true. All right. True. Selected, this will be false. F-A-L-S-E, false. So since it's false, it should not have a field. And this particular color should give us a neutral of that 900. So something like this. This is exactly what words. So I could bring a version of this outside. Now, so I could toggle in. So even this text, we could also change it and call this one label. So let's just call it label. Right, description. Then this other one, we'll bind it to that label too as well. Right, so inside here now I have our label description. Perfect. So I could have another one now. This label now will be reviews. I'll say reviews. All right, perfect, like this. Then not selected. Perfect. So I have this together, and I can give it auto layout. So I have my auto layout here. So I could say the spacing between them should be 0. But I want to give my auto layout. I want it to have a stroke. But the stroke I want it to have should be a bottom stroke. So just only bottom stroke like this works for me. And I could say let the neutral be 900 too as well. So this really works. So if I have this together, so I can easily stretch this. So if I stretch it now, it looks like this. So I want this to be at the middle. So I ensure that I have it selected here, middle. So instead of frame 21, let's call this one our tab heading, right? So this is exactly what we have now. So if I want to adjust this to be, the way should be 1440. So this should give me probably something like this. All right, I think this is cool. So the next thing we want to have now is like our description, right? So let's have our description. So in our description, we could have like this, where this will live. So let's call this one body. So this could be tab body. So inside here now, we could have like a lot of text, right? Product details, blah, blah, and the rest. So let's just assume that we'll have some text there. So I'll just call this one details. Details. All right. Let's find a simple heading and give to it. Okay, before I give it a simple heading, let's duplicate it. So right here, let's look for probably heading 5, heading 6, a very small heading. Probably heading 5 medium works. Okay, let's make it bold. All right, that works. Then this other one now, the color should be neutral, of course, 500. All right, cool. This one now, I want it to be like a paragraph text. So let me look for the Spoon here and generate paragraph. Okay, just one will work. Generate. All right, cool. So that paragraph works. Let's add some. All right, cool. So I'll just select this together, and add auto layouts, and give this particular frame a name. Let us call it details, for example. Let us say info, right? The spacing should be like 12. Cool. So the cool thing now is we would actually add auto layout to this, to the entire body. So let's add auto layouts, and the spacing within it should not be more than, let's say 32. 32 works. 32 also works. Then this one actually should be filled. Should be filled. So this one also should not be fixed. It should also be filled. So it's cool. So when we select this now, it could actually like adjust with it. So I think it's better it's filled. So this could adjust. So we could have multiple of this. Then inside our body, we could say let the spacing here be 32 too as well. So instead of having details here, this could be info, right? So I'm just typing any stuff I say. This could also be use case or style use case. So this could be anything depending on the platform we are working with. So this is it. So we have something like this. So this works really fine. So let's ensure that, all right, I think this is actually quite responsive enough. So let's try this one. I think this is also responsive enough too as well. So select the heading and the body together. We can now add auto layout to it. So we can now add auto layout. So where is auto layout now? Auto layout to it. The spacing between them should be 0. We could give it a field if we want to, of like this, and 1440. This one now should be. This now should be filled, not fixed. This should be filled. This one also should also be filled, which makes more sense. Then this now could actually be that 1440. This make more sense. Then here will be 88 to ensure that this looks cool. So this is what we're trying to do basically. So let's call this one description and reviews, right? So I'll say DSC plus reviews. All right, that's short. So if we take this section and we put it inside here, so this is what we have, right? So this makes sense, right? So you see the description of this particular product. So if they click here, they should be able to tap to the review. So let's work on the review section, right? So let's work on the review section. So I would just bring this outside. So now that you have an idea, so we'll create another body. Right, so permit me to create another button, but in this case, I want it to have like reviews. So I'm going to do something now. I'm going to click on this ellipse shape. So this is going to be the people. I'm designing the review card now. So this is going to be a review card. So this should actually be a neutral of 0, something like this. This works. Then let's bring in our star again. And let's make this one 20, not 24. So it to be smaller, right? Then inside it, let's select this. Then let's give it a fill. And our fill should be neutral 900. The stroke also should be neutral 900. All right. So just the same way, we duplicate this, select it together, add auto layouts. Let us call it stars. Stars like this. This is cool. So let's duplicate this 3, 4, 5. So the spacing between them, let us say 8, for example. 8 works. All right. So let's bring in a text. So we're going to type it out in here. Let's say Samuel Linus is the one leaving this review. All right. So okay, not bad, but let us give it a heading of H6, and this H6 now should be medium. So this looks cool, right? So we'll select this together and this together. We'll add auto layout. The spacing should not be more than 8. So I'll just call this one title in a way. Then we'll have another text here. So I will just copy something that I already have. I don't like using Lorem Spoon, but you can actually use Lorem Spoon. Also, I'll copy this text, I'll paste it here. So I recently purchased a ring from your store and blah blah. So let's just assume that this particular stuff is correct. So let's assume that this is the review. So I'll put it here and show that this is paragraph the 14, not medium, regular. So this actually makes sense. So now we could select this together and select this together. Select everything together like this now and add auto layout. Then the spacing now should be 12. So there will be more spacing between. In fact, this other one, we could even reduce it to be 4. So there'll be more spacing between this and this, right? To create that some sort of hierarchy. So let's rename this frame to be details. So this is cool. Then we can now select this together and select this thing together, add auto layouts now, and ensure that it's at the center like this. Then this should be our review card, right? So let's call this one review card. All right, cool. This makes sense to me. Then I would give this a padding top and bottom of 20 so that I should be able to give it a stroke. But this stroke is going to be a bottom stroke only, right? And I don't want it to be line. I want it to be a dotted stroke that is dashed like this. And I want the colors should be neutral of, let's say, 100. So this is cool. So this makes sense, right? Then this spacing here is too big, right? So let's just give it 40. All right, that makes sense. So this is our review card. And so let's see if this should be fill. This should also be fill. So I'm doing this now so that it's going to be responsive. This should also be fill. This text here should also be fill. So fill, ensure that stuff are responsive. So if we stretch it, you see, it's actually adjusting. So this particular review card is quite responsive. So at this particular point, we could also make this a component, right? So let's make it a component because I don't really know for now. We might need a version of it, Ctrl Z. We might need a version of it later. So let's drop it here. So let's duplicate it so we can have an instance of it here. So that's it here. So this is a component. So we could have like multiple of this. Select them together now and add auto layout. So where's our auto layout? So auto layout like this. Then let's give it 0. So this makes sense actually. So this will be our reviews, right? So let's say user reviews. Cool. So we could also have up to 3 users. Later we could change names. So the cool thing now is this stuff should also be, see, let's expand it. Fill. Fill. But the reason why I'm adding it fill, so it's going to be responsive. So have our user review here. So if we stretch this, so this can be responsive a little bit. All right, that's cool. Then I also want to have a form here. So I'll go ahead and create that particular form. So for me to create that particular form, I'm going to come search for inputs. So we're going to have our input tag here. Then I realized that this input tag sometimes this stuff here should be filled. So you see, so that stuff there should be filled. So I'll select this and make it filled. If not, it's not going to be responsive, right? So if you stretch it like this now, so this should be responsive. So we don't want our description. I also don't want my right icon, that's this icon here, to show. So this label here, so let's call this one full name. All right, perfect. So I need like another one. So this one, I want this one to be email, something of this nature. Then I can change the icon Let me select mail, this particular icon. Then I also want another one, text area. So these are our text area too as well. So let's check if it's responsive. It's not responsive. We fix it. It's not responsive. So let's select this. So select this particular frame that's inside and try to make it responsive by saying fill. All right, cool. So this should be responsive now. All right, perfect. So text area, description, no description. Then label here, let's see, write a review here. Write your review here, 1, 2, 3, dot line. All right, cool. This makes sense. So I'll select this together, select this together, select this together. So this is our form. So I'm going to add auto layout and I'm going to say the spacing should be like 24. Instead of frame 21, let's call this one our form. So we could say review form, right? Review -form. All right, cool. This makes sense. Our form needs a button. So let's bring a button and put it inside. So this button, let us make the color for now neutral and say the label of the button should be submit review, right? Submit review. So I'm going to say submit review here. One more thing, I also need the text. This is going to serve as the heading. So I'm going to say add a review. So let's see what this is. I actually don't want this. I want it to be small letter. All right, probably is the text I'm selecting. So let me go and look for a heading text. A very small heading text, probably H5. H5 medium works. Add a review. That's perfect. I'll click this one here. I'll type a simple text. I'll say something like your email address will not be published. All right. So this will be a smaller text, paragraph, not medium, regular. Let's ensure that the color is neutral, 500. All right. So I'll select this together right now and I'll add auto layout to it. And the spacing between it should be like 12. All right. So let's just call this one, let us say title, right? That's the title of the form. I think this is even too much. 4 is cool instead of 12. So let's drop it there. So that's the title of our review form. So I have our review form here. And we'll also have this one here. So we're going to make auto layout to both of them, right? So I'm going to say auto layout and give this a fill. All right, so that's it. So this one is what our review, right? Our review section. So this could also be a tab body too. So let's say these are also tab body bots in brackets review. So let me just put it here. So because that's what we're going to have. We're going to have similar stuff here. So this one now, let's ensure that it works. 1440. That's the height there. Then this one, let's ensure that it's a fill. Makes sense. Let's ensure that this one also is a fill. Makes sense. So since a fill, all of these stuffs, they are not responsive. Let's make it fill. Make this guy fill too as well. All this needs to be fill. They all needs to be filled. All right. So apart from this, all right, this makes sense. Then the spacing between it should be like 40. All right, this makes sense. Then left and right should be 88. So this will give us just exactly how we normally have it here, right? So let's drag this and so this is an auto layout, right? So I want to put it to Control X, come here, Control V. So okay, since this already have this, so we don't need this anymore. And we'll just make this one fill. Perfect. So this makes sense now. So this is 1440. Perfect. So this is our review. Then we cannot give, since we gave this 32, let's also give this one also like 32. in it. All right. So this makes sense. This makes sense. All right, cool. So we have our review here. So if we make this a component, so this is going to be like a component now, right? So let's make this a component, but in this case, in this default case, this one is description. So this review here is going to be hidden. You see that? So it's going to be hidden. So let's select this now. Let's add a second variant. So in the second variant, let's close this. This review is going to be visible, but this description is going to be hidden. So we're going to have something like this. So which is really, really cool if you ask me. So since we have something like this, this one now, this description now should be false, while this other one here should be true. Aha. So now we will select an instance of this and put it inside our design here. So we could easily move from default to second variant. So let's name this. So let's call this one states. Right? So let this one be description, DESC description. Let this one be what? Review. So if we want the description tab, we'll just select it here and say description. If we want the review tab, we'll just select it here and say review. So you see that, so everything just basically changes, right? So which is, if you ask me, I think this is really, really good. So let's leave it at review. So this is where it can place a new review. So this makes sense. So all of this that we have right now, let's cut it and go and put it in the right place. Ctrl X should be in the component section and somewhere around cards, right? So paste it here and we have it here. All right, so it should actually find its way around this particular point. So that's where it should be. So let's go back to our wireframe. So this is it. So one more section that we need to design, as you guys can see here, if you go back, if you reference your UX, you will see that under our user journey map, right here, under opportunity, say show related product under the product detail page, right? So it simply means that so go through product description and review. So we've done this. This is what we just did now. You see under actions, say browse and filter products for search. We did it previously. Under actions, go through product description and reviews. So which is what we'll just design. So they can go to product description and reviews, which is cool. And let's go back to there. So yeah, show related products. So that's the next thing that we need to do. So for that one, I think we already have something that we've been using. And it has been this particular one. So I'm just going to Ctrl C it here and come over here and Ctrl V it here and take it one step forward. Then I'm going to call this one related, right? Related product. All right, cool. So this makes really sense. So let's take a look at it now. So we have our related product, then we have our footer, then so that's it. That's been a long one. So with this now, we've actually successfully designed our product detailed page, right? So this is really, really amazing. And it looks really, really good. I want to try something. Okay, let me just leave it like this. So I'll bring this one here. Oops, what did I do? I just want to stretch it. I just want to readjust it here. So we've designed our product detailed page. So I hope you guys enjoyed this particular video, designing the product detailed page. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.